So the opening track action of this brilliant week continues here with the women's 4 hurdles. So we've got varying standards in these Division 3 track races, and many of the shorter contests will see an A and a B final. Alex and I were talking in the lead up to the event, kind of reminding ourselves that, of course, were somebody to produce a sparkling time in what was deemed a B final, they could find themselves finishing pretty close to the top of the leaderboard. It is about the time, but they have been fairly well separated, so we would expect the gold, silver and bronze to come from the A finals, but it's important that they all get a chance for a run here. Women's 4 hurdles, absolutely incredible. 10 European women have gone inside 55 seconds this year. 49, nearly 50, have gone inside 57. Qualification marks for the European under-20s, by the way. 61 seconds on the nose for the under-20s. And then it's a minute flat for the under-23s. If you're watching, paying close attention to the specific athletes' aspirations. Livia Topi, inside 60 seconds this year. The Serbian, 21 years of age. Inside her is Fantiarova, national champion for the 1 and the 400 hurdles, PB, on the 6th of June. Zaida Pace ran in the heats of the small stakes games, national champion last year for Malta. Melin Adamyan of Armenia in 5, 22 years of age. She's a 12-meter-16 triple jumper, by the way. Inside her, Vukanovic, 11.08 triple jumper. Then Milosevic, Montenegrin, getting plenty of support from the crowd, just 22 years of age. And Vesa Yusufi, the 18-year-old Kosovan, will be nearest the inside in lane 2. So it's Yufusi, Kosovo in 2, Milosevic, Montenegro 3, Vukanovic, North Macedonia in 4, Adamyan, Armenia 5, Pace, Malta 6, Isfandiarova of Azerbaijan in 7, and Topi of Albania on the outside. Cameras focusing in on Vukovic, but on the outside, perhaps Topi, one of the favourites. PB of 63.31 in Gibraltar last year, and ran very, very well for the national title on the 12th of June. First track action of the week, women's 400 metres hurdles, Heat A.
Set.
So a clean start. Watch for Topi on the outside, and Pace has eaten up the stagger on Isfandiarova of Azerbaijan. So good running by the Maltese athlete, now second from the left as we look at it. Adamyan of Armenia not run out of this one, but on the extreme left of picture, it's Topi of Albania. The Armenian Adamyan is in 3rd, Pace in 2nd. Long stride there from Topi to try and avoid a stutter. Oh, and has to take 2 or 3 little choppy strides into that one. On the left of picture, Adamyan is closing the gap on Pace, coming through on her inside now. A left leg lead there. But this is good running from Topi. She is beginning to rock and roll a little bit, but she has a sizable gap over the Armenian 2 insider in lane 5. And I wonder whether Pace could come back at the Armenian. Driving for the line, Livia Topi, the Albanian, 21 years of age, 62.61. She takes it. What about second? Oh, and the Armenian Adamyan just holding off the advances of Pace, and a rather tired Vukanovic for North Macedonia coming home in 4th. Good win though from Livia Topi, running blind on the outside, stuttered a little bit around that second bend, but held on really nicely for a solid win here in Slovenia.
Really impressive that, Rob. Make that a personal best by 0.7 of a second, and it could feature pretty highly in the aggregate result once we've seen the A race. Certainly there were just 3 women that were sub 60 seconds last year, and none of them have returned, partly because of promotion, obviously not able to return. But yes, have a look at Topi here. You can see on the outside in the red and black of Albania. Obviously they don't have Luisa Geiger in the longest hurdles event, if you like, the 3,000 meter steeplechase, but Topi making a name for herself here. See, rising cleanly over the barriers, holding her form nicely in between the hurdles as well. And it was a decent gap in the end. We often see big gaps in this discipline, yes, but 4.2 seconds back to Anamyan of Armenia, who's just there at the back of picture in the blue and white.
Good run there from Livia Topi. A real shame we're not going to see Geiger, but she's given great service to Albanian athletics in the team champs over the years. Hope you're enjoying our coverage. By the way, Division 1 and Division 2 will be available on the European Athletics website through the Eurovision platform. You need not miss a single beat. Well done to Livia Topi. PB in Gibraltar last year, PB in Slovenia this year. And what an image that is, Alex. Top marks to the camera team. Livia Topi taking heat A in the women's 4 hurdles. Adamyan just about hanging off the advancing finish from pace of Malta, just 700s between them, and PBs for first and second.
So this is the B race in which we are expecting to see the faster athletes. Certainly you can see those sub 60 seconds personal bests that I mentioned, and once again some really young athletes mastering what is quite a difficult event to do so at a young age. So Jana Granger of Luxembourg, don't have a official date of birth for her, but know that she does turn 17 this year, so hugely impressive, especially as a number of athletes at that age are doing 300 meters or 300 hurdles. This is 18-year-old Avril Sulignac-Bare of San Marino, on to Ingeborg Skurdardottir, who's 24, and get this, 24 is the oldest athlete in the field. So it's a little bit more like a European under-23 field as we look at Dunja Vinjals, 19-year-old from Andorra. Masa Garic of Bosnia, who was 4th last year and the top returner, if you like, from 2023, an event that was won by Austria's Lena Pressler, following that on their route to promotion. Granger, as mentioned, she was 3rd at the Games of the Small States of Europe. And on to Anna Sokadze, also 18 years of age, Georgian indoor 200 meter champion this year. Nicoleta Murcan of Moldova, she's just 16 years of age, but already has 6 national titles, which is extraordinary. But they cover across 400 hurdles, 800 meters, and 3,000 meter steeplechase. So it's kind of got that strength-based endurance and hurdling ability there, which is very impressive. And we have seen some athletes over the years do well at 400 hurdles and 800 meters. Patrick Dobek would be one of those, the Polish athlete. But yes, really interesting to see how many athletes we can get sub 60 seconds and what sort of times we might come up with here. Entry standard for the European under-20s is 61 seconds.
10.
So now underway with this B race, the faster race of the women's 400 hurdles. Naturally, when you have up to 14 teams, we are splitting the track races all the way up to including 800 meters. And then we'll have just the one heat, obviously, and producing an aggregate result by the end of things. You can see there in lane 7, it's Ingeborg Sigurdardottir of Iceland, and in the navy strip on her inside is Dunja Vinjals the Andorran, and just edging into contention now as the athlete who I mentioned was fourth a couple of years ago, really pushing hard here. Onto the home straight, Masa Garic of Bosnia and Herzegovina. There's a good battle behind her as we can see Vinyals try and fight back over this final barrier now. Have a look at the clock, still plenty to go before 60, and Vinyals coming through very, very close on the line, and in the end, I think Garic just did find enough of a final gear there. Really exciting battle, Rob, and it just shows you how a 400 hurdles race can really ebb and flow.
Cracking race that, and Vinyals outdipped Garic just on the line to take it. Granger of Luxembourg given third. I was watching Garic there as you were anchoring us through that. She was so aggressive through the first 150. Talking about the athlete, right in the middle, although we didn't use lane 1. So she's fourth from the left here, and watch the way. So watch for the rise. There, she's in the lead already down the back straight. Our eye was drawn to the Icelandic athlete, second from the left-hand side. Great super slow here. Bang. Right leg lead, past her two rivals, putting them under pressure, but Vinyals did not panic. And maybe Garic going so hard so early cost her. Look at the contrast in lack of tension in the shoulders of the Andorran. She really deserved that. Cracking race by both of them. Bold from the start by the Bosnian, brilliant at the finish from the Andorran. A great 1-2.
Vinyals confirmed as 59.75 ahead of 59.80, and Granger, who turned 17 this year, of course, in third place. And then I think we bring in overall the result of the first heat. So you can see how by winning that initial heat, even though you're seeded as the so-called slower race, you may end up still getting a good handful of points.
Hi, I'm Nadia Battagretti. Sign up now to the European Athletics YouTube channel.